whose music are we using? Should I?
If Mario and Luigi were to
Already
do a
got it, sorry.
podcast, it might sound something like this.
Yahoo!
Infendo Radio is now on.
Hello, everybody. Everything's backwards and wrong and weird because I'm hosting the show tonight and Lucas is not here. But, still got a fun one for you. I've got Justin with me this evening. How are you doing, Justin?
I am doing pretty well. It's a little rainy out here at the sacred grounds of Hyrule, but hopefully that'll clear up soon. And I have a dog.
Good.
Well, the head of a dog.
Good deal. That is nice. I have a cat.
Oh, I forgot to plug.
He is nowhere to be found.
I'm not even gonna bother plugging my stuff, so because I haven't done anything with it. So if you listen, you know what to look for.
Yeah, go to the site, give Justin some love, and maybe he'll decide to post something once he gets motivated. I know he will if you post a comment or something, that's for sure. But in any case, I am Eugene. You know me. It's time to talk about Nintendo and other things non-Nintendo, as you will find out shortly. But first, we're going to talk about actually the Super Bowl, kind of, because the Super Mario Brothers movie dropped a commercial during the Super Bowl. And quite frankly, that and now, Rihanna was like the only thing that was worth watching there.
The Super Mario Brothers plumbing company or whatever dropped the commercial during the Super Bowl.
You're right. Yes, my apologies. You're not wrong, and it was amazing, actually. So I know Justin has the instrumental queued up, but I'm gonna play a short clip of it here now because it was just that good. Here we go. It's just like it's like nostalgic. Like this was like childhood, man.
Right, I was so impressed that they.
Super Mario Bros.
Like I knew that they were going to do, the whole, they're plumbers and find their way to the, but to actually make a reference to the Super Show was just
right.
Awesome.
Like, yeah, no,
they know the audience they're going for.
Yeah, totally. I about died because I think I actually I saw it like on a I don't know if it was like a Kotaku article or like something before the Super Bowl actually happened because I didn't actually watch it. And I was like, yes, this is it. This is amazing. I cannot wait for this movie. It's just going to be like so good, I feel. And even if it's not so good, I'm still going to love it. I mean, I still like the old stuff. So, you know me.
I feel like at the very least, it's going to be an amusing 100 minutes or so. Like,
yeah.
Like, even if it isn't great, it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, I feel like if they can stay true to the Mario universe, which it looks like they're doing, it looks like they're even going to go, they're doing Mushroom Kingdom and outside of Mushroom Kingdom, like looks like Brooklyn and stuff. So yeah, give it to me. Like, I'm so excited. The other thing that came out of that is a couple of movie posters. Actually, I hadn't seen the one that you showed me earlier, Justin. That one was really cool. But yeah, a couple of them, they're starting to release all the movie posters because the movie's coming out here in April. So it's like, we're a couple months away.
Yeah, it's exciting. The more I see of this movie, the more excited I am about it. I mean, I've been cautiously optimistic, and because it's Illumination, a little apprehensive. But
sure,
again, it definitely looks like they know who their audience is. So, hopefully this will, they'll make us geeks happy.
Yeah, I don't know how video games and movies work, but you would have to imagine that Nintendo was able to share some of their assets with Illumination, so at least they weren't like, starting from scratch. Who knows? Maybe they did start from scratch with everything here, so that's why it looks so amazing. But I don't know. This looks better than any Illumination project that I've ever seen. That's for sure. I'm really hyped for it.
Yeah, Bowser looks pretty dead on. Toad looks like he does in the game. Peach, Mario, and Luigi are definitely not the same models that they used in like Luigi's Mansion and Mario Odyssey and all that. Those looked like they were custom made for the movie. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, maybe they all were, but some are more faithful than others. I don't
Sure.
know. It looks like it's going to be fun. Of course, I enjoyed the one from the 90s for all its horribleness. So,
Sure.
take my opinion with a grain of salt. Like, even if it's bad, I'll probably still enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no doubt, no doubt. But yeah, that's kind of it for that one. I know Justin has a little bit of news on his end. What do you have going on over there, Justin?
I mean, it's not really news as much as lack of news, but so I've mentioned on a couple of occasions this AEW Fight Forever game. AEW is, the new wrestling, uh, you know, basically not the WWE.
Right.
But they're getting pretty big and kind of stealing a piece of that pie. But a couple years ago they announced that there was going to be a new game uh in the AEW universe, franchise, whatever you want to call it, that's made by the director and a lot of the same developers who worked on the N64 wrestling games. So we're talking like WCW NWO Revenge, WWF No Mercy, those classic games. So
Yuke
this is
specifically,
made
right?
by
That
the
like
same,
Japanese developer, I think, right? Aren't they
yeah,
from Japan?
Aki Entertainment or whatever it is, or at least
Hmm.
people who had been part of that group. So even though I couldn't care less about wrestling and I know absolutely nothing about AEW, let alone any wrestler from any, franchise anymore, I loved those games. Just
Yeah,
played the
they're
heck out
so
of them
good.
in high school and college, and I'm definitely gonna be getting this game. Anyway, it was announced about 2 years ago. It's like all of the like GameStop and Amazon and everybody have it for pre-order, but there hasn't been a release date for it. They still haven't announced a release date for it, but it has been rated by the ESRB. It's got a T rating, as probably expect, which means it must be pretty close to release. They're expecting it quarter 2 of this year, which could be anywhere from uh I don't know, like March to August or something like that. I can't remember what the span of time is, but I'm excited. Keep your eye out for it because I'm gonna end up getting it. Hopefully, I'll enjoy it as much as I did the old ones, but we're getting closer to it. Not typically the type of thing that I get excited about, but it's news. It's exciting news to me, so I figured I may as well share it. And
Yeah.
it's a slow news week anyway, so
Right. Yeah, no,
may as well talk about games that were announced 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever.
if they can hit like just a little bit of they did No Mercy, right? Isn't that the
Yeah,
legacy? If they can just hit
yeah.
a little bit of that nostalgia, like yeah, sign me up.
Oh, exactly. Like that. Those games were fun, even if you knew nothing about wrestling or the wrestlers, because it was just fun. Like it was great pick up and play. But if you learned the nuances of every character and their special moves, you could really get good at it.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing to do in that game was to set it to knockout only and do a ladder match. And so pretty much the only way to win is to either grab the belt from the top of the ladder or beat your opponent until they can't get up anymore. And you've got
Right.
plenty of weapons to do it with.
Those old Nintendo
My
64,
friend and I had a
PlayStation
match that
era
went on for
games
like
were the
45
best.
minutes.
Oh yeah, no, oh my god, yeah. You could do because you could like set the timer to like unlimited. Like you can set like the rules to whatever you want. Like those were the days where like oh man, those were so fun. I love those games.
Uh, Yeah, so I can't wait for that. Again, not really exciting news, but what else do we have to do? Mario trailer and um did they see the new Zelda trailer came out. Yeah, we talked about that last week, so there's not really anything new about that either. Other than between the Mario movie and and Tears of the Kingdom, uh, like I'm really excited about this spring.
Yeah, totally, totally. Just gonna do a long pause so we can do a break here. I'm gonna reset my internet. It's probably me because I think I'm on the wrong Wi-Fi. I'll be right back. It's probably gonna stop
Okay,
this recording too. Yeah,
make me the host.
no, because
Make me
then
the
I'll
host, and
lose.
I'll just sit here and
I also I'll still be in here, but then I don't want to lose the recording though, you know. So, yeah.
oh, yeah, I thought you had left because you just froze and went dead for like 5 seconds.
I'm back now, hopefully on a better internet connection. So we'll see.
Oh, would you just switch from like the 2G to the 5G or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did. Because when we were getting laggy,
It's
I
already better.
looked. Yeah, I figured when we were getting laggy, I was looking and I was like, oh fuck, I'm on the wrong one. Because like sometimes your computer auto connects or whatever.
Right.
Okay, let me put a note here. Change that we are back. All right, and then yeah, we'll just get straight into change the system, I guess so. Oh, well, I suppose let's talk about the games we've been playing this week since it's a slow news week after all. I have a feeling we're going to have a longer change of system though. At least I might. So
I've been
let's
playing some new and different stuff lately, so
Let's
you go ahead.
first, yeah, well, I'm going to go first, but we're going to talk about something that's going to overlap, actually. Let's talk about something that we've both been doing. I've been 3D printing a lot lately, like just a lot, a lot. This 3D printer has been, and you guys can probably hear it on this show, and I'm sorry because it's like literally right behind me if you're watching the YouTube, but it's just been going nonstop, like 24/7 pretty much. Because my wife has this project, that she wants me to complete for her to display her Funkos. So I have, just these like modular Funko stands that I found on Thingiverse, and they're nearly completed. I'm so excited to finally put a button on this project. Two, no, actually, 2.5 filament rolls later, we're going to be done. So, yeah, I'm
How many are
pretty
you
excited.
making?
She has 25 Funkos that she wants to display. And she wants to display them stacked. So it's going to be basically two layers of 12, or I guess, 13, a layer of 13 and a layer of 13, I guess, or whatever. But the problem is when you stack them, then you have to build a support that goes on the bottom, which is basically like a skeleton kind of thing. It's got like, just four corners or whatever. It uses less plastic, but I still got to print it. So I've got 26 stands I have to print. And then what's half of that? 13 supports I have to print in total.
Wow, that's I haven't gotten well. I I guess since you already kind of threw it out there, I've been
Yeah.
doing some 3D printing myself. I cashed in some bonuses from my job on Amazon and got myself a 3D printer. Um, and have spent the past 2 weeks trying to figure out how to use it and optimize it and set it up. I don't have room in my house to put it. And we've got a dog downstairs and a cat upstairs. So, it doesn't have a cover to keep the fur out of it, so I didn't have a good place for it there. So
No,
it's
my
down
my thing
in my
is got
cellar.
fur everywhere. Actually, cat fur is a thing. Yeah. Anyways, go on.
Well, maybe I might have to move mine up here. Mine right now is down in my cellar, which is good because it's nice and cool. So the plastic cools faster, not as likely to warp. Problem was, I was having the hardest time trying to optimize the bed temperature and the nozzle temperature and the speed so the first and thus far only thing I've printed is the boat. Everybody knows the boat. It's like the first thing
Yeah.
that apparently that everybody prints.
Keep that
So
boat.
I
It's
so I did
precious.
that.
It's like you're supposed to keep it in a frame, kind of like your first dollar if you're a business owner. That's
Oh,
how I have my boat.
oh, not only am I keeping the boat, I'm also keeping my first ever 3D print, which I'm pretty sure I shared a picture on Discord. I wish I had
Yeah.
it right here.
Yeah.
It's just a ball of stringy plastic everywhere. It looks like a cat
That's
playing with the
3D
art.
printed.
Like so that was my
I
first
think
failed attempt. I'm like, I have to keep this.
I think because you asked me when you first got it, you're like, so what did you mean by I'm not going to actually print anything this weekend? I'm like, you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah. So now I think I know what the method is for printing in the environment that it's in. I have to kind of re-level it a little bit because the table that it's on is warped, but I took a level and put it on it, and like there's like a maybe a 1 degree slope. So I don't even know if it's even worth doing it. And the bed has auto leveling. I basically got the nicest, biggest consumer grade 3D printer I could get because I figure this is probably going to be a one and done thing. Like I'll buy this and I'll use it until it dies. So I figure I may as well, get a good, the best one that I can afford. So it's an Ender, an Ender 3 Max Neo. And it's got the heated bed and auto leveling and all that. And my friend Schnazzy One listener on the show introduced me to Cavo. I haven't quite used it yet, but I have downloaded it, so I'll learn how to basically set up my 3D printer so that rather than me having to set timers, so what I ended up having to do was the first layer, I had the bed at like 85 degrees. That's Celsius for those of you who don't 3D print. Everything's in metric. So I had it at 85 degrees, and then the nozzle was at like 185. And then after it had a nice solid foundation for the first few layers and started
Hmm.
doing the cross hatching, then I started every 20 minutes or so lowering the bed temperature and raising the nozzle temperature. And then once it got to the the cabin of the boat and all the little intricate things, which is where it failed on me every single time I tried before, I started slowing it down. So now that I know how to do it, I can go into Cavo and program it to do that automatically. So I don't have to keep running up and down stairs because my office is on the second floor and the 3D printer is in the basement. And I've got a little it's not a baby monitor, but like a security camera that's pointed at it. So I'm sitting there um at my computer doing work with my iPad next to me with the live video feed of the 3D printer so I can be like, "Oh shit, it fell over."
Sure.
Pika.
Sure.
but so I'm getting the hang of it. The first thing I want to print like for real are, and I think I mentioned this last week, are grips for my Joy-Con,
Right.
so that like I have the regular, ones that it comes with. They're not that great. And then I've got the ones for the battery packs, which are
Hmm.
better because, they're a little bulkier. You can wrap your hand around them. And they're fine for playing stuff like uh Skyward Sword. Yeah, where you basically got like the Wii remote and nunchuck setup. That's fine.
Right.
What it's not good for is the way I normally play with the Joy-Con, which is, pardon me, which is in bed, laying down, head on the pillow, uh, switch, on a mounted, thing above me, a Joy-Con in each hand, kind of laying here like a corpse, so that I
Sure.
can just sit here and play. Problem is, my hands cramp up when I'm playing it like that. So I really like this was like the big thing that made me like, all right, I need a 3D printer because I want to print this thing. And if I have it, I'm gonna want to print all these other things. So
Sure.
so that's gonna be my next project. Hopefully I'll get to try that this weekend. Eugene, who also works at the same place I do, can verify that work has been really busy lately. Um,
Yes.
but that's my 3D printing experience. And because the Joy-Con thing, I guess it is related to Nintendo. Should I go ahead with the rest of my change the system, or do you want to
Yeah, I
do you
just
want to
want to
go?
tack on 1 second onto your 3D printing experience. Maybe a little 3D printing advice, if you will. I think you said that you have a program that you're going to use to probably get like another G code to like, tell your printer to like do different things. Um, I use Cura. It sounds like you're using a different program. But yeah, that's what I would recommend, right? Because you can have it so that like, at this layer,
Yeah, like the
it
first.
will.
Yeah,
So that
yeah, that
usually
and
I
that was the
have.
issue I was having was I would set it a certain way where, like, if I set it to the default, it would not adhere. If
Yeah,
I set it so that it was hotter, then after it reached a certain point, it would detach from the bed. So what I ended up having to do is lower the bed temperature so that it would solidify, and then yeah. So yeah, if I could
usually
automate that,
to
that'd be great.
yeah, usually to my first layer, I will print slower also because the first layer for me is it's usually the crucial layer. If the first layer is going to go, then everything else is going to be fine. So the first couple of layers you can set to go slower. That usually helps too. So like there's a bunch of stuff you can do.
See me, I was going full speed until it reached the halfway point where it kept actually it failed 2 or 3 times in a row at the 68% mark, like
Sure.
exactly. So so basically what I did was I knew that it would go at 100% up until that point. So once it got to that point, I dropped it down to like 80, maybe even 70 to do the
Yeah.
real intricate details.
Yeah, once you start printing, custom stuff, that's what it sounds like what you're going to get into next. Downloading a file off the internet, putting it into a program, putting it into a file that you can put into your printer. That's where you're going to need a program like Cura or like whatever you're using. It sounds like you're using something different. But in any case, when you
Yeah,
do that,
Cavo was the one that Schnazzy one suggested, Cavo, and I guess I use a Mac, so he said it's Mac compatible, but it's also Windows as well. So
yeah, they're all there's a bunch of them. You can use a ton of them. I would just recommend that you check your settings in there too because there's just like just learn your settings in there first of all. Like so maybe print like one more test print of the boat and make it like 1.5 bigger or something or point 0.5 smaller and just mess with your settings in that program because once you get into the program that's a whole other thing because then you're talking about like retraction speeds and like what kind of support do you want to print and do you want any bases, do you want like a raft, do you want like a skirt, do you want like all this other stuff. So my recommendation, print one more boat, and it's probably boring, but print one more boat, put it into the program, change the settings so that you learn how the settings work, then get into the fun stuff. That would maybe be what I would recommend.
well, I'll definitely give that a try this weekend, possibly tomorrow. I've got some time off in the morning to play with it, but yeah, that's I've actually been spending more time on the 3D printer than I have with any video game systems. But that's not to say that I have not been
Sure.
playing video games. For
Well,
once, I
then
actually
tell
have
me.
some stuff worth talking about. So, starting off with the Nintendo stuff, um, as we all know, they released Game Boy games on the NSO service, and if you have the expansion pass, you can also have Game Boy Advance games. So I've been playing through the e-reader levels on Super Mario Advance 4, which, by the way, thank you Nintendo for releasing those. I had them on the Wii U as well, but it's nice to be able to have them like truly portable and with like a real rewind function and all of that. Because those so I had multiple Game Boy Advances and an e-reader during that time. So I was buying these cards and actually using them. Uh, and when that service went away, I'm like, these things are going to be lost to time. Nobody's ever going to have an e-reader again. There's no point in them ever releasing the Game Boy Advance versions of these games again because the Super NES version exists. well, I was wrong, and like this is the best way to play it. Like the best way to play Super Mario Brothers 3 is the Game Boy Advance, Super Mario Advance 4
Totally.
with the e-reader editions. The only thing it doesn't have is there were e-reader cards for power-ups. So what you could do is you could swipe
Oh
a card
yeah, that's right, and
and
get
it
like
would
a
add,
yeah.
yeah, you not only could you get like all of the normal Super Mario Brothers 3 items just by swiping a card,
Totally
you could
forgot
get
about that.
the Super Mario World feather in Super Mario Brothers 3. You could add vegetables that you could pick up and throw to the actual Super Mario Brothers 3 levels. Like there were so many cool
Yeah,
things you could do with that
totally forgot
that
about
that
that.
we miss out on. It would be nice if they could like make it like an amiibo thing, which is basically the same thing. Like you tap this amiibo and you get, a random power up or something like that. But um, you know,
I would buy a Super
it is
Mario
what it
World
is.
Feather amiibo. You know I would.
Now, well, exactly. Like even if it like, they can do the amiibo cards now. Like you just buy a deck of cards, be exactly like the e-reader thing.
I didn't even
Nintendo
think
get on
about it,
that,
but
but
Amiibo is the spiritual successor to e-reader, isn't it? Like, kinda.
yeah, eh, and it's sad that each of these things that they've done has kind of died. I mean, Amiibo was successful because it was a collector's item, but they've kind of, they release maybe one a year now. Um, Even Metroid Prime didn't have a an Amiibo. It isn't even compatible with Amiibo, from what I found
Mm-mm.
out, which is
Mm-mm.
sad because um, darn you, Eugene, I broke down and bought Metroid Prime Remastered last week.
So did
Um,
I.
uh,
It's
I,
so
I
pretty.
swore I swore I wasn't going to. I'm like, I bought this game on the Wii. No, I bought this game on the GameCube and never finished it. I bought this game on the Wii and never finished it. Why would I buy it again? But there is a casual mode, which I'm not sure if any previous version had that, but hopefully, if the casual mode on Metroid Prime is anything like the rookie mode on Metroid Dread, that made the game so much more palatable for me. And also the ability to play it portably, play it in bed, play, all these things that I
Right.
couldn't do with the other versions. Maybe this is what I need to actually finally finish this game. Um, Thus far, I've gotten to the first save point in the prologue, but you know,
That's not
because
that's
most of
not
my
nothing.
gameplay, yeah, I mean, it's a great game, and oh, the controls on the Switch version are the best yet.
Ooh, the
The
dual stick feels good.
I
Dual
had
stick feels
forgotten
good.
that the GameCube did not have dual stick controls. I can't remember what the C stick did, but I remembered when I was flipping through
I
the
don't
different control
remember.
options that on the GameCube,
I think
you
you switched your
basically
gun or
moved and
switch your
turned.
visor or something like that with the C
Yeah,
stick.
maybe. Yeah, something like that. And they're like, oh, dual stick controls. This is what this game always needed. Dual stick controls with the lock on. Yeah, I'm all for it. I am a
Honestly,
sucker for anything that makes games easier.
I'm a sucker for the motion controls, and it has that too. So like, this is just
I have not
like
tried those yet.
it's the best version of this game, bar none, because you can do the motion controls, you can do the stick controls. If you want to go back to the
Just like
GameCube
Skyward Sword.
control, yeah, if you want to go back to the GameCube controls because you're a stickler for that, you can do that with the GameCube controller if you want to. Like, oh my God, it is just like it's just a great version of this game. I wasn't gonna buy it either. I mean, who am I kidding? I was always gonna buy it, but I wasn't gonna buy it twice. And I bought the physical version too.
Oh, jeez.
So what? Well, I'm not going to open that one. So yeah, it's. I got a little bit further than you did. I got to actually the planet, and I explored a little bit. I got the what's the first thing that you get down there? Whatever the. I didn't get the actual item, but I got to like where there's like the guys coming out of the ground, and then I think after I kill all like the big guy coming out of the ground, I get I think missiles or something. I can't even remember, but I turned it off actually at that point.
And there's been a lot of talk online about, oh well, why is it Retro Studios can remaster this game with new graphics and all that, but Nintendo can just release it. I'm putting this out there right now, and I have no way of confirming this, and I don't know if I ever will, but my guess is there was a B team on Retro Studios that they're like, hey, look, we've got all these assets that we built for Metroid Prime 4, but Metroid Prime 4 isn't going to be done for 14 years. So here, take all these assets we've already built and just remaster Metroid Prime
Yeah,
1 with it. Like, I
yeah.
don't think Retro Studios went out of their way to remaster this game. I think it was just a matter of it's 10 times easier to take what we've already built and just, copy, paste the level and enemy into it than to, just either port the game or rebuild it from scratch.
I've heard rumors that this has been done for a while too, actually, and that
Yeah, we've been hearing about this for a few years.
right, and that it was like supposed to be coming out like in cadence with Metroid Prime 4, but that game just is taking its sweet time. So yeah, like I don't, like Justin said, I don't think that this like took away from any of the development of Metroid Prime 4, nothing like that. Like this was probably developed by a completely different team. Like don't worry, Metroid Prime 4 is still never gonna come out. So
It'll
yeah,
be out on the Switch's successor.
yeah,
Um,
for real though.
it'll be the Breath of the Wild. Yeah, the thing to remember with any of these re-releases, remasters, whatever, is 9 times out of 10 they're outsourced. Either it's a B team on the development team, like, here, get your feet wet on this game that's pretty much already made. You can learn how to code, learn how to fix bugs, learn how to do the stuff, but you can't break anything because it's already built. So, you go and work on that while the rest of us work on this brand new thing. Or, like, Nintendo has outsourced all of their Zelda remakes to, like, Grezzo, and I can't remember who did. I think I want to say it was like Terminus or something like that. I can't remember who did the Twilight Princess one, but like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
this doesn't take away from the games that the A team is making. They're farming those out for to get them out the door. The A teams are working on the big stuff. Um. Anyway, that's enough Metroid Prime. I've now talked about it longer than I've played it. Uh, because I've got some more exciting stuff to talk about. Actually, um, first of all, I never expected my wife to be interested in this, but she wants to watch The Last of Us. And I said, you can't watch The Last of Us because I have not played the game yet. So I said, I'll make you a deal. I will stay up and play like an hour of The Last of Us every night or whenever I have the opportunity or whatever. And, by, I don't know, the end of the month or whatever, I will have finished it and we can watch the show. Um, so I'm playing the PS4 version on my PS5. And the reason I'm doing that is the
Isn't there a
PS4
PS5
remaster.
version of it too? Like, oh
Yes.
my
There's
God,
a
this is
PS5 remaster, there's a PS4 remaster, and then of course there's the original PS3 version, which I don't think is on any of the current systems. But
sure.
the PS4 version was not only $20 as opposed to the PS5 version $60. It's also a PlayStation Plus, whatever the lowest tier of PlayStation
Mm,
Plus is.
so you get it for
So I
free.
just had to basically, yeah, I basically just upped my subscription one tier, and I got this game that I've been wanting to play anyway. So so I've played a couple of hours of that. I'm definitely getting the Naughty Dog vibes. Like, I've gotten into a couple of shootouts, and I can feel Uncharted kind of like
Uh-huh.
seeping into the
Yeah.
gameplay. Obviously, very different story. Whereas Uncharted is more like kind of goofy adventure, Indiana Jones, The Mummy sort of thing. This is more, you know, a Walking Dead sort of story, but um, uh, definitely the gameplay has many similarities. But I haven't played a whole lot of that. But I plan on playing more of it tonight. So hopefully I'll be able to finish the game before either the game or the TV show get spoiled for me.
We're
Um,
we're I've never
and
done
last,
either. And sorry, real quick, I just want to tack on Last of Us from somebody who's never played the game nor watched the show. But I'm kind of in the same boat where like, do I? Because I own the game. It's like on my pile of shame for my PS3, so I can just pop it in right now if I really wanted to. Do I really want to watch the show and spoil the game before I play the game and
Oh, my
watch the show type of thing? You know?
my wife was really annoyed that I wanted to play the game first. I'm like, hey, I like this is important to me. Like I do not like most of the time I'll go see a movie before I read the book. You know, but and we watched all the available seasons of Outlander, which is her favorite series, both TV and books. We watched all of The Walking Dead. I've never read any of The Walking Dead. She's only read the first compendium. You know,
She's
like
my
so
wife
we're
is doing The
often
Walking Dead right now. Actually, we're on season 10 of 11. Oh my gosh! Go ahead.
yeah, it
It's a lot.
the show is in yeah the show is intense. We finished it. We ended up getting an AMC Plus subscription just so that we could watch the new episodes before they got spoiled.
Sure,
um anyway, this is not TV radio.
could be.
um but there was one other example I was going to give, but again, oh, I remember now. Watchmen. I saw the movie
Mm.
Watchmen before I read it. So for once, I wanted to consume the source material before I watched the adaptation.
I guess I
So
get it.
I'm making a right.
I'm kind of in the same boat, but I know myself, and I'm not gonna. We're gonna probably watch the show first because I just know I'm not gonna have time to play a. What is it? What is it on? How long is it? Is it like a 20-hour game or?
Yeah, roughly 20 hours.
See, a 20-hour
It's a
game
commitment.
versus a like probably a 15-hour series. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I may break
But
down, like we may get like halfway through the I may get halfway through the game. I'm like, all right, I'm ahead enough that we can start watching the show.
right, it's
Um
like I know enough about this universe where I'm kind of comfortable. Yeah, exactly.
um so the final like gaming thing that I wanted to mention is having a PS5 has spoiled me um on the whole SSD thing. Um and I've had an SSD in my computer for years. That was the first gaming system I had with an SSD, and I'm like, all of my big games are on the Xbox. Far Cry, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, these games that take like 5 minutes to load. I'm like, I need a Series X. So I got one refurbished, factory refurbished from Microsoft, off of eBay. So I saved a little money there.
Sure.
Did a PayPal pay in four so that I'm not dumping tons of money all at once. But so I got that. And I did buy the PS5 version of Grand Theft Auto 5 specifically so I can finish the game in all its,
Didn't you
enhanced glory. So I'm
didn't you
actually on
play
the
the
last mission.
didn't you play the PS4 version on the PlayStation also? So it seems like that's kind of
I
your
I played the PS3 version. And that's the system that I beat it on.
Oh
Um
yeah, that's right. Because it. Oh my God, that's right. That's originally a PS3
yeah,
game.
that's it. It's an
Gross.
old ass game. Um yeah, I have bought Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS. I originally bought it for the Xbox 360. Found out it was on two discs, required an installation, and did not look as good as the PS3 version. So I returned the 360 version and exchanged it for the PS3 version. I played through the PS3 version. When I got an Xbox One, I ended up getting it for the Xbox One for, all the enhancements and the
Mm-hmm.
GTA Online
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Um, then when I got a PS4, I got the PS4 version thinking that I could transfer my game saves from PS3 to PS4. I could not, but I had already spent the money on it. So I had it on the PS3, the the PS4, the Xbox One. I bought it on the PS5. Well, I didn't buy the story mode. I bought the online mode
It's no
so that I could
wonder
play
why
it with
Rockstar
a
has
friend of
made so
mine
much damn money on
who
that
is
game.
who was never online when I go to play it, and now I have it on the Series X. But the
It's
last time I
amazing.
played the game, I was on the penultimate mission, the big one, the big heist, whatever. So like I literally have one story mission left to go. It's the one as Franklin where you have to make a big decision. And so I transferred my game save over to the Series X. I copied it a few times so that I can basically play through all the different endings and still have backup saves
Right.
for whatever. But yeah, it loads so much faster, and it looked like I didn't think it could look that much better. It looks awesome on the Series X.
Sure.
So I'll probably finish that tonight or this weekend or something like that, just to get
I
that
love my Series
out of the
X for
way.
sure. I
It
look over across the aisle though too at the PlayStation, and it's like, man, there's some cool stuff over there too.
Yeah, the PlayStation exclusives don't excite me as much. The controller is awesome. Like
Sure.
PlayStation really kind of Nintendo'd their controller for once. Like they actually did something unique with it. I still hate the joystick placement, and I wish that there
I
was
hate
an
it. I hate
asymmetrical
it.
alternative. I found a controller, an asymmetrical controller by a company called Nacon. I have one of those for each of my PS4s, and you can use it on PS4 games on the PS5. The PS5 games require the DualSense. So
Right.
whenever I'm playing, Cyberpunk, I got to do, the crampy hand thing. But
Hmm.
the triggers are awesome. Like when you're driving a car, it pushes back against your finger like a gas pedal or a
Right.
brake pedal would. Like so like it's a really neat feature, and I have a feeling like any game that comes out with DualSense enhancements, I will definitely want the PS5 version over the Xbox
Sure.
version.
Sure.
But everything else, yeah, I'd rather have Xbox.
Sure. Yeah,
Anywho, I've been talking forever. Eugene, what have you been playing?
I don't have a whole lot, honestly, so this is probably going to be short from my perspective. We already talked about my 3D printing exhibition. That's honestly been the biggest thing in my life lately, so not a whole lot of time for games. Because as you know, there's a lot of tweaking and tuning when it comes to 3D printing. Although this one behind me now is going pretty good, but it's a 15-hour print. But yeah, it's kind of been a lot of what I've been doing. Although I do want to talk about a couple of games, namely GoldenEye. So I finally got the chance to play that, the not I guess not a remaster of it, the remake,
I
whatever.
forgot to mention, um, I
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to be like 10 seconds. I downloaded the Xenia M- Xbox 360 emulator to my Xbox One S so that I can play the unreleased GoldenEye remaster on it. I have to
Ooh,
switch it over to dev mode and get the
that's
right
fancy.
ROM installed. But yeah, I'm excited to play that because what they have on the Xbox now is basically just
Yeah,
the N64 version upresed.
right. Upresed a little bit. However, it's got achievements, so that's what I'm trying to do.
The
I
Switch
don't.
version has cheats.
That's true. This and online actually. I did play the Switch version to play online with one of my buddies, like back in freaking middle school. It was weird. Um, but yeah, I played it on the Xbox. I literally only played the first level, and then I was like, wow, this is really weird to play GoldenEye with dual stick controls. So,
I got used to the C buttons. Like
I,
that's completely natural to me, and I can
yeah,
flip flop between dual stick and N64 controls like that. Like it's perfectly natural. Playing GoldenEye on the Xbox was a total mind screw because my
same.
my thumbs wanted to do one thing, but the controller's like, nah, you got to do this other thing.
Especially, yeah, no, totally, because like, I had literally just gotten done playing with my buddy, playing multiplayer. We had said goodbye, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go boot up the Xbox version to try and get some achievements, because like, yeah, I'm into GoldenEye right now. And I booted up the first level, the dam, and like, if you know GoldenEye, you know what circle strafing is. And I tried to do like the circle strafe, and like it just doesn't work because it's dual stick. So I was just like, okay, I don't know what to do here. Like I'm broken. My body is broken. I did find out though that like apparently it kind of does the circle strafe automatically by just you using the dual stick controls, but it just feels weird to me. It doesn't feel like GoldenEye. Um,
I got the
so
circle strafe. So many
yeah,
multiplayer matches. Um, we started out with License to Kill with pistols, and then we discovered
sure.
that if you do normal mode, but bring the health all the way to -10, it's one hit kill unless you have body armor, and then the body armor
Oh,
absorbs an
sure,
extra hit.
sure.
So that's how we would play it, and just so many matches of just two of us just running circles
And
around
then the
each other,
slappers just
unloading clips. Bang, 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 bang. Reload, bang, 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 bang. Crap amount of ammo.
yeah, that's exactly it. You run out of the ammo, and then the last resort is the slappers. Yeah, it's great.
And what's great about doing the -10 thing is you can't just kill them with one slap. You have to like go in, hit them, back up so that they can't shoot you. Go in, hit them, back up so they can't shoot you.
Oh
God,
man,
I
yeah.
miss those.
I do too, and it's you can't rebuild that, right? Like, because we went in and played multiplayer GoldenEye, and it was fun. Like, we had a good time, but like it's not the same, Like, it's like, oh yeah,
Not
there's
high
jank.
school.
Yeah, no, like you're not. I'm not peeking over onto his side of the screen, see, and him literally being in the corner of some level of the facility so that I can't figure out where he's at.
Oh
But
my
he's
God.
but he's laid so many death traps and proximity mines that if I go in the wrong spot, I'll die. That's GoldenEye to
You
me. You
you
know what
know
I
about
mean?
the you know about the like eye closing mode, right?
No.
If you crouch down and then hold the aim button and see down, the screen will go dark. I think
You're
I could be remember
lying.
this could be a Mandela effect. This could be a Mandela
Sure.
effect, but I seem to remember that we used to like go to an area where we were hard to see and then just kind of black out our screen so that we're just sitting here like nobody can find us. Um
I no, yeah,
the other
that could be
thing
a thing. I kind of remember that like vaguely because like we would go back and forth between Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, and inevitably we would play the facility in both. But yeah, no, oh man, so many memories.
the other thing that we used to love doing is and they fixed this for Perfect Dark, but in GoldenEye the spawns were um sequential. So when one
Oh
person
right.
died, like then they move on to the next spawn area. So as long as you remembered where the last person spawned, you could, as soon as somebody died, charge over to the next spawn area, stand just outside of the circle, because if you're too close, they'll spawn in the next one. So stand just far enough away that they'll spawn, and then charge at them and kill them
No,
immediately.
that used to be a thing actually because we would play 2v2 a lot, and it would be like, okay, if the person dies, the other person has to cover them because you can't let the other person like literally just throw a proximity mine right where you're gonna spawn and you're just gonna die again,
Oh yeah, that too.
So yeah, no, that is a legit
Proximity
thing.
mines in the spawn places.
Uh huh.
My favorite was in Facility, where you do the thing where you can actually go back up into the vent and then just throw a proximity mine in the vent. So
Right.
when somebody spawns, they're
Right.
stuck in there.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So many good memories. So yeah, that was GoldenEye. I only got to play a two-person match with one of my buddies, but it was still hella fun.
We're gonna
The,
have to do an Infendo game night one of these nights and just get four of us together and
I
play.
think so. I think so. The problem there is I don't think that Steve or Lucas have nostalgia for GoldenEye, so we might have to find some Infrendos to play with us. But yeah, I'm in. I am in.
I'm sure Schnazzy would be on. He was never good at it, but he always played with us in school. So
Sure. I was never good at it either, but it was still fun. The next game that I've been playing, switching gears a little bit, is another Xbox Game Pass game. This, I guess, may be a theme for Eugene, as you guys may have seen. And I've only played maybe an hour of it, but it was so fun. I like so fun. It's called Hi-Fi Rush. It is a Bethesda joint. I want to say, and don't quote me here, but I think that this is like the same guy that did like Shadow of the Damned. I don't know. I forget the guy's name, but yeah, it is a fun beat 'em up game that is music based. So like all of the so like if you're you're hitting somebody, it's all kind of in theme with the music.
oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah, it is really fun. And again, I this is only me playing for like about an hour, and then I kind of had to put it down because it was like 1 in the morning. But I am going back to that game tonight because I had such a good time with it. Hi-Fi Rush. It's got like a comic booky theme, like an anime look to it. And yeah,
I
I'll
might
be
have
talking.
to try it, knowing that it's Game Pass.
Game Pass, yeah, it's Game Pass. It's free. So if you got Game Pass, there's really no reason not to. That game is amazing. The last game that I want to talk about, and it's a game that I've already talked about, but I want to talk about it more. It's called Vampire Survivors. May have heard me talk about it in shows past. I love the hell out of this game. I finally have almost gotten all the achievements for it. The last thing I need to do is I think there's like I don't know. I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure I have to like beat this mode without like taking a hit or something like that. So that's going to be a tough one. But yeah, I am just all in on Vampire Survivors. I've earned all of the characters at this point. I think I might download the DLC and actually give this developer some money because this is another Game Pass game, Vampire Survivors. Yeah, it's fun. Fun. That's the game where I guess if you haven't heard about it before, I like to describe it as a bullet hell game where you're the bullet hell.
Oh
I heard,
yeah, you were talking about this last week.
yeah, I heard that on I think like Giant Bomb or some other podcast described it that way. But it's so true. It really is because like you can start leveling up your character and then like by the end of the 30-minute or 15-minute run, depending on which level you're in, you are just like in God mode if you've gotten the right weapons. So yeah, super fun. Another Game Pass game. Also, it's like $5 on everything else. So it's like on Android and iOS, I'm pretty sure too, on Steam and everything. So yeah, Vampire Survivors, another Game Pass must play in my opinion. And yeah, that's
I really do not take advantage of my Game Pass nearly as much as I should.
I feel like I take advantage of Game Pass too much, and it's been making me neglect all of my other consoles. Like my Switch is sitting over there with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, actually, because I have both, and I've maybe put 5 hours into that game. I hate to say it, but Game Pass and the Xbox has kind of cannibalized a lot of my Nintendo time. Although I'm sure I will be back for Tears of the Kingdom. But it is what it is. Like there's games everywhere. Enjoy them where you want to.
It is kind of sad that when Breath of the Wild came out, I was unemployed and I was sitting at home with my toddler. And so I would just sit and play video games, sit and play hours of Breath of the Wild because I had nothing better to do. And it's sad that I don't
Sure.
have that option with Tears of the
Sure.
Kingdom. Like I can't put 100 hours into the game in the first month.
Right. Oh man, I don't even want to look at my play clock for Breath of the Wild on between my two Switches actually, because I'd have to look at both. But yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it for this episode. I think we should have a more full cast next week. Lucas should be returning. Who knows if Steve's going to be popping in? You never know with that guy. But yeah, thank you, Justin, for popping in. Happy printing. I really hope that you get your prints going because it's a fun hobby, but it's not for the faint of heart. So yeah, good luck.
Well, one of the things I really want to make, not a practical thing, but I downloaded the plans for a Ben Solo lightsaber hilt,
Nice.
which
Nice.
which you barely see in the movies, but it's basically the Kylo Ren one without the cross guard, and it's silver instead of black. And like you only see it for like that one flashback scene in The Last Jedi, but I'm like I have to have it, and they don't. The only official one they sell is at like Disneyland and Disney World, and it's like $300. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna 3D print this.
Right. It's like I could buy a 3D printer for that and print 3 of them.
Exactly.
So, yeah, good luck with that. I know 3D printing is tough, but once you get the hang of it, it's addicting, man. Like I said, this thing's been going forever. I've got all these figurines that I've been printing all over the place. You know, you just print stuff. You know, it's fun. All right.
Everybody's gonna get something 3D printed for Christmas this year. I already know it.
That's right. That's right. And you're going to like it. Gosh darn it. All right. Well, that's it for this show. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Ghost of Lucas and Ghost of Steve. You can find them on their various platforms. Go to the show notes for that. Thank you for sticking around. I know Infendo's been gone for a while, but we're back. We're back in a regular cadence, so we're happy to be there. All right, catch you guys later on. See you next week. Bye-bye, adios.
Good night, and do the Mario.
Yeah.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. Take
I didn't have this one
step,
queued up, so
and
this
then
is good.
again, let's do the Mario all together now.
Y'all are
You got it.
gonna have to listen to this whole song.
It's the
because
Mario.
we're not stopping the recording. I'm
Do
not
the
stopping
Mario, swing your arms
picture
from side to
Captain
side.
Noel
Come
Bano
on, it's
doing
time
this.
to go. Do the Mario.
May he rest in
One
peace.
step, and then again, let's do the Mario all
Yeah,
together
that's good.
now.
Noel Bano and Danny
Come
Rose
on now, just
did not live
like
long enough
that.
to see that commercial that came out during the Super Bowl. Anyway, I can't remember.
Oh my
what
God! What was
outro
that
is.
ending
Good
screen?
evening.
The eek or whatever. That what was that?
It was the animation company.
Oh my God! That
They also
triggered
did
me.
the real Ghostbusters and Inspector
Yeah.
Gadget.
A bunch of stuff actually. Didn't they do? Who did Eek the Cat? Did you watch Eek the Cat?
I barely watched Eek the Cat, and I don't remember.
Oh my God. Anyways, I don't know if you're still listening this far, but see ya. Bye.
Consider this the stinger.
Yeah, right.